political writer for The Nation and a Wisconsin native, John Nichols. Welcome back. Nice to see you, sir.
It's great to be with you and great to hear these good reports from Wisconsin.
Yes, I mean, Midwest Nice is on full display there, right? No surprise. When it comes to Wisconsin voters, particularly as we look at a place like Madison and the college campus where Mills is, who has the edge with young voters and engagement right now?
Well, there's no question that the Walz-Harris ticket has the edge. That's, I think, a given both based on polling and on a lot of anecdotal evidence. However, the key thing is not merely to have the edge, but to do that mobilization, to get people to the polls. You can be very, very popular among a certain group of people, but if they don't actually show up on election day, that becomes an issue. And for young people, it is a little bit less common that they vote early. They do sometimes, and there's a lot of work that'll go into that, but often they vote on election day. And so you're going to see mobilization on that Madison campus right up through election day. And one of the important things is you can expect visits by the candidates. I would be somewhat surprised if Harris doesn't come to Madison. Usually Democratic candidates do in the closing stages of their campaigns. They usually bring along Bruce Springsteen or someone like that. And so I do expect you'll see a lot of campus mobilization, because it is absolutely true that if you have a high turnout on the University of Wisconsin-Madison campus, as well as other campuses around the state, Green Bay, Eau Claire, La Crosse, et cetera, that dramatically increases Democratic chances in a state where elections are often decided by 20, 25,000 votes.
What are you hearing, John, about the Republicans' ground game and this door-knocking campaign? I mean, right, it's the old trick of the trade. It has worked in the past. Is it working in a state like Wisconsin?
Sure, it works. And I think that the Republicans are very good at it. They've been doing it for a long time. They have a lot of volunteers. And it is important to understand that their volunteers are often spread across the state into some of those more rural counties, smaller cities. And that's where they're going to need to mobilize. There's simply no question. Wisconsin is a divided state, closely divided. Milwaukee, Madison, Racine, Beloit, some of these cities turn out very, very big Democratic percentages. For Republicans, they make it up in the suburbs and out in rural areas. Now, the Democrats are going to fight for those areas as well. But yes, the door knocking is real. Brian Schimming, who you had on a moment ago, he's no newcomer to this. Brian Schimming rode his bicycle to downtown Madison to volunteer on a campaign. I think it was in 1973 was the first time he did it for a conservative candidate. So you're talking somebody with about 50 years of experience.
Right, and that means a lot in a campaign, knowing where you go and bringing that wisdom with you. What about the issues, John? The economy. What else falls in the priority list for folks in Wisconsin?
Look, Wisconsin is a historic manufacturing state, and a state that was historically a strong union state. Unions have been beaten up some, but are making a comeback in many areas. And so you really do come back to the economy. If you develop a message on the economy that talks not just about where it's at right now, but where you want to take it, and you do so effectively, that's going to be the dominant issue. There's no question. But the economy has gradations within it, and that's a big deal. It's important to understand that Wisconsin still has a strong farm economy, a rural economy, and you have to have messaging for that. Often in the past, the Democrats have fallen down. They haven't spoken enough about and to rural Wisconsin. Republicans have tended to do more of that. Similarly, Republicans have been very, very weak historically on a real message as regards manufacturing, trade, some of those issues. Obviously, Trump brings trade forward as an issue. That's important for him. Harris and Walz, I think, are a little bit better attuned, especially Walz, to making some messaging on the farm economy. And so you start to see these campaigns, building more multifaceted outreach. And that's going to make this a much more interesting election, because obviously Republicans are going to try and up their numbers in some of those manufacturing towns. Democrats trying to up their numbers in some of those rural areas. That's what upsets the easy predictions, the easy calculations, and perhaps shows you results that are a little bit unexpected. And for those of us who cover politics, unexpected results are not necessarily a bad thing.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.